education today, education ranking has become an important factor. And can you believe that the United States is not even in the top 10%? Finland's education ranking. Finland is one of the world's leaders in education ranking. According to the New Jersey Minority Educational Department, a non-governmental organization that conducts the annual education poll with data from 6 different international organizations, Finland ranks number 1 out of 209 nations and is 19 places above the United States. This difference can be attributed to the fact that the United States school system has not changed as much as the Finland school system, which has implemented some major reforms. Finland's history. In the 1990s, education in Finland was average, and only the rich and privileged got a quality education in private schools. Additionally, Finland was on the edge of a financial breakdown, which proved disastrous to schools, colleges, and universities. However, despite these struggles, Finland progressed to becoming a strong performer by using reasonable financial resources and solutions that differed from the usual market-based approach. According to Test magazine, 75% of Finns considered the establishment of comprehensive schools as one of the most important events in their history, far higher than any other event, including universal suffrage and joining the European Union. Finland's schooling culture. Schooling culture refers to Finland's outlook on education and the various reforms that closely tie in with their culture. Finland implements a lot of reforms, but there are 3 main ones that focus on school, teachers, and students. They are providing support for all students, establishing professional discretion and independence for teachers, and encouraging students to take responsibility for their learning. The first method is supporting all students. Finland has full-service schools, which provide many services to students and families in need. This includes a daily hot meal for students, dental services, mental health services, and psychological counseling. Finland also has multi-professional care groups, which is a group of counselors, principals, and teachers that sit together to discuss the school's overall needs and what the classroom really needs. Finland also has a special needs teacher to address special needs kids to help them catch up to their peers. The second method that Finland implements is independence for teachers. Unlike the United States, where teachers have to follow a set curriculum, like a set curriculum and specific textbooks, teachers in Finland have a freedom to choose their own textbooks and to choose how and what to teach. Additionally, since there are no standardized tests in Finland, teachers conduct their independent assessments to measure student growth. To allow this level of freedoms, teachers need to be really well educated. 100% of the teachers in Finland have a master's degree or higher, compared to only 52% of the teachers in the United States. Additionally, teachers in Finland graduate from the top 10% of their class, compared to the teachers in the United States, which mostly graduate from the bottom 10% of their class. The third method that Finland implements is encouraging students to take responsibility. In the United States, students are highly dependent on their teachers. However, in Finland, students are expected to design their own learning activities, and they're expected to work collaboratively with their peers. There's also no grade structure in Finland after secondary education, so students continue at a self-guided pace with an individualized study plan that assesses their own needs. Since standardized testing is kept to a minimum, Finland's only standardized test is taken when students are 16 years old, compared to a New York student who takes 10 standardized tests before they reach high school. Collectively, U.S. students take 100 million standardized tests a year. Finland's school system accomplishes some impressive feats. Some people say that without standardized testing, there's no way to accurately measure student growth. However, in Finland, their high school graduation rate is at 93%, compared to 78% in Canada and 75% in the United States. Additionally, about 2 in 3 students in Finland will go on to college, which is the highest rate in all of Europe. Another way that Finland measures their student success is by taking their only standardized test, which is PISA, the Program for International Student Assessment. This test is an international test which comprises of 209 nations, including Finland and the United States. It includes 97% of Finland's, it is representative of 97% of Finland's population and 84% of the United States population. And it tests 15-year-old students in 3 subjects, science, reading, and math. This table shows the percentage of top performers in each subject. This graph can show an overall view of it. In science and reading, Finland outperforms the United States and the overall average. But in math, the average is higher due to countries such as South Korea and Japan who outperform in math. However, in all 3 subjects combined, Finland outperforms the average in the United States. and has the most performers. This shows that Finland's reforms are effective because Finland's students outperform every other country's students in the world. United States education system. The United States has implemented some policies such as the No Child Left Behind Act and Race to the Top. However, the goal of these policies is to raise test scores. The goal of Finland's reforms is to aid in the development of their students by working in collaboration and prizing teamwork. What can the United States learn from Finland? The United States can remember three things: schools, teachers, and students. And instead of competition, they can work towards collaboration, towards a common goal. Instead of standardization with the state curriculum, they can work towards customization throughout individual students. Instead of standardized testing, they can focus on sample-based assessments. Instead of tough accountability, for example, cutting teachers' pay when students don't do well, they can focus on trust-based responsibility. It is important to remember that Finland's teachers are really well educated and have a passion for their job. Instead of school choice, the United States could focus on equity. So instead of private or public schools, all their schools can be equal, and it doesn't matter what socioeconomic factor a student is in, all schools should have the high level of education that we need. Some people say that Finland's reforms can't be mirrored through other countries because Finland's reforms closely tie in with their culture. However, the New York Performance Standard Consortium, which is a group of 26 New York City schools, petitioned their state to allow their own assessments rather than standardized testing. They grade their students based on portfolios, essays, and research projects. And according to EdTech and the Wall Street Journal, the consortium has a higher graduation rate and a lower dropout rate than other high schools across New York City. This shows that Finland's reforms can be implemented in other countries such as the United States, and hopefully when these reforms are implemented, we can be one of the top 10 education rankings in the world. So, thank you. What questions do you have?
I have two questions left for you. How did you select the strategies you used to gather the information for your research?
Well, first I looked online to see if I can find any data about any international assessments that students in Finland and the United States both took. So I found the PISA exam, and then I looked at the various methods and reforms that Finland implemented to achieve this.
And then if you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
The additional research, when I looked at the PISA assessments table and scores, there was a whole lot of information, and I really wanted to incorporate all that information into my slides. And I wanted to talk more about how the United States could implement these reforms, so I would do that.
Cool, thank you.